Auburn football's got another 2025 commit. We've needed a little bit of a recruiting discussion to happen as of late to get the good feelings going again, and we have it now. Let's talk about who that is and some early analysis about what it could mean for Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers. Here you go, Auburn family, War Eagle E2C Network family. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching on the replay. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us, spending some time being a part of our little family within the Auburn family. For this particular stream on hand, we have a discussion, early analysis of 2025 commit for the Auburn Tigers. Jourdin Crawford, defensive lineman from the state of Alabama, from Birmingham, from Parker High. We're going to get into all of that, some things to know about him, maybe some discussion and speculation about what it all means for the class as a whole, even though this is way too early. All of that's here. Would love to get some of your thoughts and reactions about this individual in this particular live stream. But first, would love for you to start the stream off, whether you are watching live or on the replay, especially if you're live. Go ahead and smash the like button if you enjoy this type of content, if you feel like we've earned it. If you're first time here and you don't know if we've earned it, I understand you wanted to hold that like, but it is a simple thing that you can do. It is an easy thing you can do. Smash that like button wherever you are right now. And what we'd also love for you to do is go ahead and post where you're watching from, your city, your state. If you're international, do that for us as well. That is a humongous help as well. Let us know who's here hanging out with us, because we want to know who we're talking to tonight and who is interested in this particular topic. So let's get into it. As most of you know who've been here for the channel, we do full-blown big videos of information about current commits for the class that we're in. When we're talking about classes several in advance, or at least 1 year in advance in this case, of the current class, we're not going to do those full-blown videos. We're going to do just a discussion live stream because so much can change. In fact, Auburn lost a 2024 commit recently. It can change as quickly as that in their current class. So for the purposes of just getting some content out there for you guys about this commit, we're going to go ahead and do these early analysis live streams, but a lot can change, which is why we're not dedicating to that full-blown research video quite right now. Got a lot of fine folks checking in with us early, and good to see some of you guys checking in on Facebook, checking in here on YouTube, all across social media and the different platforms that we're on. Thank you guys so much for being here. James says, what's up, Kyle? Top 10 class for 2025. So far, I know it's early, but it's a start. James, actually, I'm going to use this for a second. I need you to send me an email with your email address, e2cnetwork@gmail.com. The letter E, the number 2, the letter C, network@gmail.com. Send me an email just saying, hey, what's up? And I'll get with you as to why. So shoot me an email when you can. But back to your question. I know it's early, but it's a start. And that's part of the reason why we don't go into a ton of hardcore data into this particular commitment, because so much can change. But it is off to a great start. So since you brought that part up, we can go ahead and mention that, yes, this puts Auburn currently way out in advance in a top 10 class situation for what it's going to look like in terms of where the class finishes when all things are said and done. A lot can change. A lot will be added, subtracted from certain classes, and things will change over time. But right now, with 4 total commits in the class, Auburn's 2025 class is a top 10 one at this particular point. But who is the individual that brought us to this point? His name is Jourdin Crawford. He is from Birmingham, Alabama, Parker High. You know how much we talk about the importance of getting guys not just from your backyard, but from your state, but from these major hubs of talent within your state. You would think of Birmingham, you would think of Mobile, those things outside of your traditional backyard. What I consider the backyard is obviously the Auburn, the Montgomery, to the, western parts of Georgia area, the LaGrange area. That's kind of Columbus area. That would be your backyard, in my estimation, my humble opinion. But he comes from Birmingham, a hub of talent, and there's plenty more talent coming out of Parker High in that class. I know, if I have this correct, there's one other commit that we're working on He's already committed to Alabama. And then there's another like 5-star, if you get jazzed about such things, that's got a lot of interest from a lot of people, especially from Auburn, that could potentially build a relationship by getting one of his teammates. It's not always the case that you see a teammate just go to a team with them because their teammates there, but it sure can't hurt. So that's a good inroad right there alone. So more information about Jourdin Crawford. Currently, he is listed around approximately 6'1", a little over 300 pounds. Most people are going to speculate and put him at a defensive tackle position, so an interior defensive lineman. So that starts filling out that spot for Auburn in that particular roster, which they've already done a good job of filling out. Defensive lineman, edge rusher. We'll jump into that in just a little bit. He's considered a 4-star consensus prospect across all the major sites currently, and a lot of prominent teams wanted this individual. Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, handful of others, but those are some of the more prominent names that he chose Auburn over. And reports are that he has been on the campus several times, most recently in for the Georgia game, which, you know, that was a great showing. We talked a lot about this for the Auburn Georgia 2023 matchup, even though it didn't end how we would have hoped. The dividends that was going to pay in the recruiting game for showing the atmosphere. The only thing that would have been better, and my wife, if she was watching this, she would say, you say this all the time, everything's better at night. Jordan Hare at night would have been absolutely outstanding. So obviously still made a huge impression on this guy wanting to push for the commitment and ultimately getting it here way early in the 2025 process. I keep wanting to say 2024, but it's not. So there's your facts that you need to kind of know about him right now. 6'1", 300 plus pounds, 4-star consensus. Major teams wanted this prospect from Birmingham area, and the 4th one in this class. Now, I always like to talk about, if you guys have opinions about that you want to talk about this, drop them and we'll hit some of them here and kind of address some of them. Like WT says, the fact that our recruiting has been on such an upswing is proof that we chose a good head coach in Hugh Freeze. Yeah, I would agree with that statement in the simple fact that that's one aspect that you've got to fix for Auburn, and he has clearly done that. The on the field stuff has definitely got to start coming, but you also have to have patience for that too. But he has definitely done exactly what he was expected, what he promised, to get the ship righted in the recruiting category. Not just for making some semblance of a 2023 class, starting his 2024 class, and really getting a head start on 2025. Speaking of the 2025 class, let me give you the information that you need to know about who currently, as of this live stream, so all you folks that come after this video live stream's done and want to say, oh, he decommitted, we're talking about right now, at this moment, October 16th, 2023. 4 commits for Auburn in this class. Your first was Malik Autry, who was way back when Harsin was here out of Opelika, Alabama, your literal backyard. Followed up by G. Caleb Falk, brother of the current Falk that is here. So a little family tie there. He's an edge rusher. Some people probably put him in a linebacker position. Then you had Spencer Dallin, an interior offense. Actually listed as an offensive tackle, what I'm looking at, but I remember him being, he would be a tackle with his height. I think there was some debate on his size wise, where he might land, but currently listed as an offensive tackle out of Athens, Alabama. And then now your 4th one, Jourdin Crawford, defensive lineman, and an interior defensive lineman. So it starts filling out nicely the defensive side, the defensive line side of the ball in this class. So you've got a defensive tackle and interior lineman. You've got what he's listed as a defensive lineman, but these days that typically means he can kind of do whatever is needed, however he fills out when he gets here. That would be Malik Autry. And there was some speculation, I believe, at one point that Malik was going to decommit and go somewhere else. So obviously stay tuned for that if any of that starts happening. But he would be, I want to say defensive end, but maybe not defensive tackle altogether. Again, this is all just speculation right now. Things can change. And then your edge rusher, who could also be kind of the defensive end considered too, G. Caleb Falk, brother of Keldrick Falk. So that starts filling out that defensive lineman unit. slash edge rusher positioned very, very nicely for the 2025 class on the defensive side of the ball. And you've also got to start with an offensive lineman on the offensive side of the ball. So what do we talk a lot about here? The importance of those two simple things. You win the ball on the offensive side of the line and then the defensive side of the line. And those are being addressed at the very beginning of the 2025 and then some. And the fact that Hugh Freeze has maintained Malik Autry so far is probably a miracle unto itself, given how we've performed, the ones that have come after him. So right now, it looks to be shaping out to be a good class, a top 10 class currently, with the addition of Jourdin Crawford. We're about 10 minutes into this. These are usually shorter live streams, but I really do want to address any comments or questions that you have about Jourdin Crawford, any thoughts that you might have about him, questions about what it could mean for the class, the team going forward in terms of who may or may not be here. Usually on the regular videos, I like to dive into the roster. In fact, I may try to pull that up for you here real quick, just so that we can have some discussions about who may or may not be here and all this and when they might play. All this is dependent upon, too, who comes in by the end of this year. If there's anybody else to be taken in the 2024 class at his particular position. There we go. I found it, and I'll bring that up for you in just a little bit. Yeah, sorry, good little housekeeping. My email is E2C Network. So just right up here, the logo, the letter E, the number 2, the C, network at gmail.com. Like I said, just send me a, hey, it's me, and then I'll follow up with you. Big Step says, hey, recruiting is great. Yes, it is. If you're watching this far off in the future, the context right now, the football team is reeling from a 3-game losing streak in the very middle of their 2023 season. And this was very, very much needed at the time for a little bit of feel good about the program. And we saw the news come across the social media spaces with Trevon Reed doing his eyes emoji and all that kind of stuff. So that was a great thing to see. So thoughts about him, speculations about what he might mean for the class. Go ahead and drop those in right now. We'll definitely hit some of those as we round out our discussion here. A lot of you popping in. Good to see you, Joseph. Here's a reminder of what we've got coming up this week, E2C Network wise. Don't miss Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Auburn Family Night is back as it always is on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. since the dawn of time, pretty much. Auburn versus Mississippi. Well, Ole Miss preview and prediction live stream 8 p.m. on Thursday. Of course, Tiger Walk Live, our post-game reaction show as soon as we can after the Ole Miss game, depending on the result. Those are things to keep in mind for content that is scheduled this week. There's going to be much more, so stay tuned where you can. Check out those links in the description for things that you don't want to miss out on. So that's what you can keep in mind. I guess to kind of round out the discussion and thoughts on this particular commit, like I had mentioned before, we will do a full-blown video for him once we get through the 2024 class and final signing day. At that point, I'll have a very busy time getting all those done because I would assume we'll add many more by the time we get to 2024 signing day. Anybody got a prediction about how many commits in the 2025 class we will have by the final signing day of 2024? I know that's a little confusing, but basically come February, whatever, how many 25 commits do you think we'll have? Because that's how many videos Kyle's going to have to ramble out for you. This is merely a nice little placeholder of information for you all just to kind of think about, know about. We'll adjust after we see how he performs in his junior season. Talk about stats, talk about maybe how he has grown some, currently listed at 6'1", 300 plus pounds, defensive tackle, 4-star commit. Maybe he's even added some stars by the time we get done with a few months here as we head into the end of his junior year, head into his senior years. A great addition, 4 commits in the class, majority of which are across the defensive line or edge rusher position. So Auburn sits currently at a top 10 class in a very good position, and you should have at least good feelings about where Auburn is recruiting wise currently. and I hope you're excited about that. We appreciate you guys tuning in with us, hanging out with us for just a few minutes on this live stream to talk about the commitment of Jourdin Crawford in the 2025 class. And of course, as always, we are glad that you're here and continue to be part of our little family within the Auburn family. Till we talk to you again on our next live stream or wherever else, War Eagle.